Every industry has its controversial figures, whether it's for their political views, personality, or their actions. With the controversy comes negative social stigma. The comic industry is no different. While being one of the most influential comic book artists, Frank Miller is one of the most controversial. From reviving Daredevil with his signature style, to making banger Batman issues, to his comics adapted to the big screen.
This is Sparta!
But yet his work has been no stranger to scrutiny, as some of his political and social beliefs bled into his art. Miller started on his comic journey in the late 1970s, initially contributing art for the Twilight Zone series, inspired by Rod Serling's iconic television show. His talent caught the attention of major publishers Marvel and DC Comics, leading to various cover and interior art assignments, notably for the spectacular Spider-Man. This paved the way for him to become the regular artist on Marvel's Daredevil, eventually taking on writing duties. Miller's run on Daredevil brought a significant shift in tone, portraying the titular hero as a gritty figure immersed in a harsh urban reality. He added a martial arts aspect to Daredevil's fighting skills and created Elektra. His stylistic innovations and thematic depth not only defined his own body of work, but also left a lasting impact on the wider comic book landscape. Later creating Ronin, a cyberpunk samurai narrative for DC Comics, solidifying his standing and enhancing the legacy of one of DC's flagship characters. Remaining with DC, he penned and illustrated Batman: The Dark Knight Returns, a groundbreaking tale envisioning an aging Bruce Wayne returning to his Batman persona after retirement. The series achieved significant commercial success and is now widely regarded as one of the pinnacle works in the comic book medium. In the subsequent year, Miller crafted a 4-issue Batman storyline that redefined the character's origin, eventually compiled as Batman Year One. He continued his prolific output with projects like Elektra, Assassin, Give Me Liberty, and screenplays for the films RoboCop 2 and 3. Throughout much of the 1990s, Miller dedicated his efforts to Sin City, a project that has also earned its place among comic book classics. Sin City expanded upon Miller's grim and noir aesthetic, and was later adapted into successful feature films. In the late 1990s, Miller collaborated with Lynn Varley to create 300, a stylized portrayal of the Spartan defense during the Battle of Thermopylae, later adapted into a renowned film by Zack Snyder. However, despite its popularity, the comic faced criticism from Miller's peers for its alleged historical inaccuracies and perceived homophobia. Subsequently, Miller returned to the Batman franchise with The Dark Knight Strikes Again, which, although commercially successful, did not attain the same acclaim as its predecessor. His subsequent Batman project disappointed fans due to its portrayal of the violent superhero, receiving predominantly negative reviews. Miller's controversial work, Holy Terror, sparked further debate. Initially conceived as a Batman story against Al-Qaeda, but later featuring a similar character, the Fixer. While praised for his distinctive artwork, Miller faced criticism for his depiction of Islam and its followers. Critics such as Spencer Ackerman and the David brothers accused Miller of equating the actions of a terrorist group with the entire Islamic community. Miller's response to these criticisms only further fueled the controversy. Later in that year, Frank found himself embroiled in further controversy due to his remarks about the Occupy Wall Street movement. It's safe to say that Frank expressed a strong dislike for the movement, labeling it as detrimental and harmful to America. Fellow comic book artist Alan Moore publicly criticized Frank, strongly disagreeing with him and characterizing his work as misogynistic, historically inaccurate, homophobic, and fundamentally misguided. Frank Miller was honored with induction into the Eisner Awards Hall of Fame in July 2015. He later returned to Batman comics with The Dark Knight 3: The Master Race, which became a top-selling comic, selling around 450,000 copies of the first issue. Miller continued his comic output, releasing The Dark Knight Returns: The Last Crusade in 2016 and a sequel to 300 in 2018. The next year saw the release of Superman Year One and Dark Knight Returns: The Golden Child, along with a young adult novel titled Cursed, co-authored with Tom Wheeler, which was adapted into a Netflix series in 2020. Currently, Miller is still writing comics, with his own comic book publishing company, Frank Miller Presents, or FMP. As we delve into the legacy of Frank Miller, it's clear that his impact on the comic book industry is undeniable. From reshaping iconic characters like Daredevil and Batman, to crafting groundbreaking narrative, Miller's contributions have left an indelible mark. Despite the somewhat polarizing nature of his work, Miller's influence on the medium continues to be felt, reminding us of the complex interplay between creativity, criticism, and the enduring power of storytelling. If you made it this far into the video, I truly appreciate you. Comment below your favorite comic book or comic book artist. Make sure to like the video and subscribe. Peace.